Hello everyone, hope all of you are safe and healthy. Welcome to IASbaba's Rapid Revision Series for Prelims 2021. This is session 76 and day 106, and the topic we have is Medieval India, that is the Indian history. So these are the hot topics we are going to discuss. That is the first two questions, they go with the guessworks as usual, and then the third one, Dara Shikoh, then Krishnadevaraya, then Battle of Haldigathi, then Maharaja Chatrasala of Bundela, then Tipu Sultan, then Abdul Rahim Kani Kanan, then important battles of medieval India, then Baba Bandha Badur. Now, coming to the first one, under the Kisan credit card scheme, the short term credit support is given to the farmers for which of the following purposes? So, friends, the short term credit, we will note it down and we will see the options in that perspective. Now, working capital for the maintenance of farm assets, then purchase of combine harvesters, tractors and mini trucks, then consumption requirements for farm households, then post harvest expenses, then construction of family house and setting up of village cold storage facilities. Friends, once again it is a lengthy question and it will be very easy. Friends, housing loan or the loans to construct the family houses are never short term. So friends, short term credit means we have to pay it back within 2 to 3 agricultural seasons. But however, the family housing loan, it will take some 8 to 10 years and it is a long term loan and never a short term loan. So 5 can never be an answer. So we will search for 5 option. And when we search for 5, A, C and D will be eliminated. So B will be the answer. So without wasting much time, we will finish this answer. Then coming to the next one, consider the following statements. The weightage of food in consumer price index is higher than that in wholesale price index. Then the wholesale price index does not capture changes in the prices of services which CPI does. Then Reserve Bank of India has now adopted WPI as key measure of inflation and to decide on changing the key policy rates. Yes friends, now by using the economics common sense, we can tackle this question. Friends, we know that consumer price index, it will be having more weightage for the consumption goods, and food is a consumption good and hence it will be having more weightage in the consumer goods only. Friends, wholesale price index, it will be for the wholesale goods, that is the raw materials and other industrial products, they will be having more weightage there. So statement 1 can be correct. So we search for statement 1 here. So A and D can be the formidable options. So within this we should see only for 3 because 1 and 2 are present in both the options. Now third one, Reserve Bank of India has now adopted WPI as its key measure of inflation and to decide on changing the key policy rates. Friends, now CPI is being volatile. So it is better to track CPI rather than the WPI and decide the policy rates. Yes friends, and more often than not in newspapers, the RBI's adoption to the CPI is been in news for 3 to 4 months together when it was adopted. So I don't think you will be having any difficulty. So by that option A will be the answer. So an easy question. So we need not spend much time for even the guessworks. Then come to next one. Consider the following pairs. That is the river and it flows into which seas? First one, Mekong in the Andaman Sea, then Thames in the Irish Sea, then Volga in the Caspian Sea and Zambezi in the Indian Ocean. Friends, for answering such type of questions, we should be looking into the maps whenever the current events occur. So when the Mekong Treaty or when the Mekong-Ganga Treaty occurred, you should have been gone through the maps. And Thames River, friends, we know that London, it lies in the banks of Thames River. And for one more fact, Washington DC, it lies in the banks of Potomac River. So this Thames and Potomac, you have to remember. Friends, we know that London, it lies in the eastern part of UK. So if this is UK, so it lies in the eastern part, and Irish Sea, it lies in the western part. So if you knew that fact, then 2 cannot be the answer. So eliminate 2. So B and C will be left out. So in B and C, 3 is there in both options. So we will search for 4. Friends, Zambezi is an important river and it flows through Zimbabwe. And but obvious, it flows into the Indian Ocean. So hence 3 and 4 can be the option. And friends, we had also discussed that Volga flows to the Caspian Sea and Danube, it flows to the Black Sea. We had discussed that. And then Mekong, friends, Mekong, it flows to the Gulf of Siam and not to the Andaman Sea. So between Andaman Sea and Gulf of Thailand, the Malayan Peninsula leaves its thread. So if you have that knowledge, then you would have tracked almost all the rivers and seas. And it is never an uphill task to go through the maps whenever there are current affairs events. So if you have done that, then this will be a very easy question to answer and never ever a difficult one. Then come to next one. Consider the following statement. In case of all cereals, pulses and oil seeds, the procurement at the minimum support price is unlimited in any state or UT of India. Friends, here all cereals, then unlimited, they are too extreme. Then in the cases of cereals and pulses, the MSP is fixed in any state or UT at a level to which the market price will never rise. So once again an extreme statement. So we will strike down the both. So neither 1 nor 2 will be the answer. Then come to next one. With reference to Indian economy, consider the following statements. First one, commercial paper is a short-term unsecured promissory note. Then certificate of deposit is a long-term instrument issued by Reserve Bank of India to a corporation. Then call money is the short-term finance used for interbank transaction. Friends, this is a basic concept, that is the call money market for the short-term bank-to-bank transaction, that is the LIBOR, then Sonia and others. So 3 has to be correct. We will search for the options so that we will not waste much time. So here C and D, they contain the statement 3. So we will look for the fourth one so that we can choose among the two. Now the zero coupon bonds are the interest bearing short-term bonds issued by scheduled commercial banks to the corporations. Friends, the zero coupon bonds, the name suggests that the coupon is having the zero on its right corner. Friends, zero means no interest is being provided to that. So zero coupon bond, they are not the interest bearing bonds. So if you have that knowledge, you can eliminate 4. So 1 and 3 can be the option. So friends, these are lengthy questions, but they are very easy. So never ever leave that. Even if you catch hold of one option or one statement, you will get the answer. So this is all about today's guesswork. Then come to next one. Friends, medieval India. So as usual, we take up the timeline. So medieval India started from 1206 when the slave dynasty or the Mamluk dynasty it started. And friends, one of the important events, that is the Genghis Khan attack, it took place in 1221. So that fact we will remember. Then after slave dynasty came the Khilji dynasty, and that was from 1290 to 1320. So friends, for 30 years Khilji dynasty ruled, and then 1320 to 1412, that is for 90 plus years Tughlaq dynasty ruled, and it was during Tughlaq dynasty that Taimur Lem he attacked India. Then after the fall of Tughlaq dynasty in 1412, from 1414 to 1450, Sayyids they ruled India. However, Sayyids they didn't make of much difference. Friends, we know that Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq, they came up with Public Works Department, Department of Health, Department of Agriculture, etc. Friends, those are very much important as far as the UPSC prelims are concerned. Friends, UPSC when it asks a question regarding the ancient history or medieval history, it concentrates on geography, art and culture, or administration, or any of such sort. So we have to concentrate on those parts. These wars, annexations, they are not asked so much. Now come to next. 1450 to 1526, the Lodhis came, and 1526, the famous Battle of Panipat, and here Babur established his kingdom. So from then Mughal dynasty started. So 1526 to 1530, for 4 years Babur ruled, and then his son Humayun came. So friends, from 1530 to 1555, Humayun ruled, but in between he lost the kingdom for Sher Shah Suri. So Sher Shah Suri will be remembered here. And then after 1555, Akbar took up the throne and he ruled till 1605. And then after Akbar, Jahangir ruled India from 1605 to 1627. And then after 1627, Shah Jahan he rose to the throne and he ruled till 1658. Friends, after that we know Aurangzeb he imprisoned Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb ruled India and Mughals from 1658 to 1707. So after that Shah Alam came. So from Shah Alam to Shah Alam II, that is Badur Shah to Badur Shah Zafar, we will take up in the next class. So these are the timelines. And friends, starting from 1336 to 1644, Vijayanagara kingdom they ruled in South India, and we know that Vijayanagara kingdom they ruled in 4 different dynasties, that is Sangama, Saluva, Tuluva and Aravidu. Then one more kingdom below Vindhyas, it was Bahmani kingdom, and they ruled between 1376 to 1528. Friends, after Bahmani kingdom, we know that Adil Shahis, Barid Shahis, Berar Shahis, then Nizam Shahis, they all ruled South India. So they come after Bahmani kingdom. So this is a brief timeline regarding the medieval India. So we will remember this. Then come to next one, Dara Shikoh. Friends, Dara Shikoh, the expected heir, was killed on the orders of his brother Aurangzeb in 1659 after losing the war of succession. Friends, Battle of Samugar, in that battle Dara Shikoh he loses to Aurangzeb, and after that Aurangzeb orders to kill Dara Shikoh. Friends, he was a probable heir for Shah Jahan, but however he couldn't become. Then he authored the work, that is the Confluence of Two Seas, and which argues for harmony of Sufi and Vedanta philosophies. So he was a bit secular in nature, and had he ruled Mughal, then that period would have been under secular rule. But however, Aurangzeb he was a fanatic, and he took several decisions which was against secular instincts of India. So in the din of war of succession, we lost one good king, who was secular in nature. Then Dara Shikoh devoted much efforts towards finding a common mystical language between Islam and Hinduism. But ultimately he couldn't find a language, and it was a great loss for India. Then he completed the translation of 50 Upanishads from their original Sanskrit to Persian in 1657. So he did much work in translating Upanishads also. Then his translation is often called Sir-e-Akbar, that is the greatest mystery. Then here in the greatest mystery, that is in the Sir-e-Akbar, he states Quran as the Kitab al-Muknan, or the hidden book, and he says that this Kitab al-Muknan or the hidden book is none other than another Upanishad. So he embedded Quran within the Upanishad. So he had a broad heart, and he should have been the ruler of Mughals, and by then India would be more secular of those times. So this is all about Dara Shikoh. Then come to next, Krishnadevaraya. Friends, he was an emperor of Vijayanagara Empire who reigned from 1509 to 1529. So friends, 1529 means he belonged to Tuluva dynasty. Then Krishnadevaraya earned the titles Kannada Rajya Rama Ramana. So friends, Kannada Rajya Rama Ramana means the ruler who ruled Kannada kingdom like a Lord Rama. Then Andhra Bhoja. So in the name of the famous king Mihir Bhoja, he was called Andhra Bhoja. Then Muru Rayara Ganda. Friends, Muru Rayara Ganda means he was the ruler who ruled 3 Gandas. Then he became the dominant ruler of Peninsula of India by defeating the sultans of Bijapur, that is Adil Shahis, then Golconda and Bahmani sultans, and the Raja of Odisha. So he was an expansionist ruler, and he had defeated almost all the neighboring rulers. So friends, in this statement we learn one fact for prelims is that Bijapur Adil Shahis, then Nizam Shahis of Golconda, then some of the later Bahmani sultans, and then Raja of Odisha, all these were contemporaries of Krishnadevaraya. So only such type of questions will be asked in these parts. Then the great South Indian mathematician, that is Nilakanta Somayaji, also lived in the empire of Krishnadevaraya. So this Nilakanta Somayaji is worth remembering, and he was a mathematician. Then Portuguese travelers Domingo Payas and Fernando Nunes visited Vijayanagara Empire during his reign. Friends, along with them Nicolas de Conti, Abdul Razak, even they visited, even Barbosa also visited. So all those names, that is Barbosa, Nicolas de Conti, then Abdul Razak, then Domingo Payas and Fernando Nunes. So all those people are worth remembering. Friends, Abdul Razak, he famously quoted Krishnadevaraya's rule as, if there was a man on this earth, it is this, and it is this. So that quote also we will remember. Then he patronized Kannada poets Mallana Raya, who wrote Veera Saivamruta, and then Chatu Vitalanatha, who wrote Bhagavata, and Timmanna Kavi, who wrote a eulogy of his king Krishna Raya Bharata. So friends, Mallana Raya's Veera Saivamruta and Chatu Vitalanatha's Bhagavata and Timmanna's Krishna Raya Bharata. Friends, eulogy means something which is written in the praise of someone. So here eulogy means that which is written in the praise of Krishnadevaraya, that is Krishna Raya Bharata. So Mallana Raya, then Chatu Vitalanatha and Timmanna, they are worth remembering. So this is all about Krishnadevaraya. Then come to next one, Battle of Haldigathi. Friends, why was it in news? Because the Archaeological Survey of India would update a number of plaques in Rajasthan's Rajasthan district that carry incorrect information about Battle of Haldigathi. Friends, we know that Battle of Haldigathi, it is having some significance regarding the secularistic tendencies of India also. So in that context, it was the duty of the government to correct the facts. So in that context, some plaques were decided to be hanged in the area of the Battle of Haldigathi. Then about the issue, the battle was fought in June 1576 between the forces of Maharana Pratap of Mewar and the soldiers led by his cousin, that is Man Singh I of Amber, who was leading Akbar's army to expand Mughal Empire. So friends, most often than not, this Battle of Haldigathi, it is being depicted as Hindus versus Muslims. But here we have to see that it was between Maharana Pratap and his own cousin Man Singh. So it was not a religious fight, so that fact we will remember. Then, according to some historians, both sides claimed victory at the end of the battle. So here, no one has lost and no one has won. So that is why hanging such plaques will go a long way in creating community brotherhood and unity. Then, about the Battle of Haldigathi. Haldigathi is a region in Aravalli mountain range, the name for which is inspired by its yellow turmeric colored soil. So friends, it is in Aravalli range, so this fact is important. Then, in Rajasthan, almost all major kings had accepted Mughal dynasty except Uday Singh, that is the father of Maharana Pratap. So Uday Singh's name we will remember. Then, after Uday Singh's death, his son Maharana Pratap took over Mewar. So friends, Maharana Pratap, he was a king of Mewar. So Malwars, Mewars, Marwars. So all those people will be important. So we will revise them here itself. Then the battle is described as being so fierce that the yellow soil of area turned to red, which is why one of the battlefields is now known as Rakt Talai, that is the pool of blood. So this is bit epical or mythological thing, but however, due to some of the inscriptions, this is also worth remembering. So friends, Malwars, Mewars and Marwars we will take up in the next class. So as of now, this is a brief account on Haldigathi. Then come to next one, Maharaja Chatrasala of Bundela. Friends, why was he in news? Because the Ministry of State for Tourism and Culture inaugurated the Maharaja Chatrasala Convention Center at Khajuraho. So he was from Khajuraho, that is in Madhya Pradesh. Now about Maharaja Chatrasala, he was a Bundeli warrior who chose to turn against Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb and seek to establish his own kingdom in Bundelkhand. Friends, Bundelkhand is a plateau area to the south of Ganga Plains and it lies somewhere near the Chambal Valley. Then he was descendant of Rudra Pratap Singh of Orcha. So he might have been grandson or a great grandson of Rudra Pratap Singh. Then Chatrasal was a disciple of Prananath Ji and he accepted him as his guru, and he also accepted Pranami Dharma. So Pranami religion and Prananath sect were very much endeared by the King Chatrasal. So here Prananath Ji and Pranami Dharma becomes important. Then his eulogies were written by Kavi Bhushan and Lal Kavi, and Bakshi Hansaraj and other court poets helped him in gaining lasting fame. So friends, several eulogies were written and they were written by Kavi Bhushan, then Lal Kavi and then Bakshi Hansaraj. So these three poets we will remember. Then Raja Chatrasal died on 20th December 1731 at the age of 82. So friends, these are some of the facts regarding Chatrasala of Bundela. Friends, along with him, Churuman Jat, he is also worth remembering because he is also given in NCERTs, and just like Chatrasal, he also took over Aurangzeb and he tried to establish his own kingdom. So Churuman Jat and Chatrasala of Bundela we will remember. Then come to next one, Tipu Sultan. Friends, why was he in news? Because Bruhan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, it wanted to name a garden after him in Govandi, that is a suburb in eastern Mumbai. So friends, Tipu Sultan is a universal person right now. NASA gives the missile system to the credit of Tipu Sultan. And friends, one of the Tipu Sultan's far relative, she has worked as a spy in the Second World War and she is being famously revered in England and France. Now coming to Tipu Sultan, he was the ruler of Kingdom of Mysore in southern India. Then he was born in 1750 in Devanahalli in Karnataka. Friends, now Devanahalli is an airport. Then he had inherited the throne from his father Hyder Ali. So Hyder Ali was the father of Tipu. Then he fought against Marathas on several occasions between 1775 to 1779. So friends, he fought against Gaikwads, Bhonsle, Holkar, etc. Then war between Mysore and Maratha ended with the Treaty of Gajendragad. So this Treaty of Gajendragad is worth remembering. Then he was the pioneer of rocket artillery. So friends, for the same reason, he is being tributed in NASA. Then he introduced sericulture in Mysore on a large scale and maintained its records. So he not only encouraged sericulture, but he also maintained the records of the same. That is, the data information were very much updated in his kingdom. Then Tipu established banking networks and cooperative societies, and here the principals were held on annual basis and returned with the interest, that is the Nafa. So even the banking system was well established in Tipu's kingdom. Then he established trading houses for Mysore products worldwide, and it was also established in Puducherry, Kutch, Karachi, Oman, Baghdad and Constantinople. So in all these areas, Mysore products were sold like the hotcakes. And friends, here we revise the Anglo-Mysore War also. And friends, Tipu participated in 3 Anglo-Mysore wars, and these 3 Anglo-Mysore wars, they took place in 1780, then 1790 and 1799. So 1780, 1790 and 1799. These 3 years we will remember in the name of Tipu's Anglo-Mysore War, and the Treaty of Srirangapattan, that is in the 3rd Anglo-Mysore War, we will remember. So friends, there, unable to pay the debt, he gave up 2 sons of his. So that was a heart-touching scene worth remembering. So this is all about Tipu Sultan. Then come to next one, Abdul Rahim Khani Kanan. Friends, why was he in news? Because Delhi's Monument of Love, that is the tomb of Abdul Rahim Khani Kanan, gets new lease of life after 6 years of conservation. So in that context it becomes important. Now Abdul Rahim Khani Kanan tomb and its restoration. Friends, his tomb is situated in Nizamuddin East of Mathura Road near Humayun's tomb in New Delhi. Then it was built by him for his wife in 1598 and his body was placed in it in 1627. Friends, it was built for his wife. That is why it is called the Love Monument of Delhi, and even his body was placed inside this tomb. Then coming to more facts about Abdul Rahim Khani Kanan. Friends, he was popularly known simply as Rahim, and he was a poet who lived in India during the rule of Mughal Emperor Akbar, who was his mentor also. Yes friends, Abdul Rahim Khani Kanan, he lived in the court of Akbar, so that is worth remembering, and he was a poet also. Then Abdul Rahim was the son of Bairam Khan, the Akbar's trusted guardian and mentor, who was a Turkic ancestry. So friends, he was the son of the great Bairam Khan and the son of a warrior. So that is also worth remembering. Friends, Bairam Khan was a famous personality, and without him, Akbar would not have established the kingdom. Then he was one of the 9 important ministers or the Diwans in his court, and also known as Navaratnas. So friends, he was one of the Navaratnas in Akbar's court. Friends, Birbal, Tansen, for others, we will remember that also. Then Rahim is known for his Hindi Doha or the couplets and his book on astrology. So this Dohe and astrology we will remember. Friends, Kabir Das is also famous for Dohas, so even that fact is worth remembering. Then the village of Kankana, which is named after him, is located in the Naushahar district of the state of Punjab. So friends, in Punjab there is a village in his name, so this is also worth remembering. Then the major works of Abdul Rahim Khani Kanan are: Rahim translated Babur's memoirs, that is the Babarnama, from Chagatai language to the Persian language. So this is worth remembering. Then in Sanskrit he wrote 2 books on astrology, that is Ketu Kautukam and Dvatrim Shadyogaval. That is Ketu Kautukam and Dvatrim Shadyogaval. So these 2 books are worth remembering, and these are some of the facts regarding Abdul Rahim Khani Kanan. Then come to next one, the important battles. Friends, first one, friends, the battle of Hydaspes. It was between Alexander and Porus, and it was held in 326 BCE. So friends, Alexander and Porus, this is a famous story, and the bravery of Porus is beautifully depicted in various dramas, dances, etc. So this Hydaspes is worth remembering. Then Seleucid Mauryan War. Friends, it was fought between Chandragupta Maurya against Seleucus Nicator. So friends, this is worth remembering. Then it was fought between 305 to 303 BCE. Then the Battle of Pulalar, that is the famous battle between Chalukya King Pulakeshi II against Pallava King Mahendra Varman, and this took place in the year 1618 to 1619 CE. Then Battle of Tarain, that is Prithviraj Chauhan against Muhammad Ghori. So friends, even this is important, and this took place in 1191. And then second Battle of Tarain, that is again Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori. So this was the very next year, that is in 1192. Friends, here the bravery of Prithviraj Chauhan is being depicted, so even that fact we will remember. Then Battle of Diu. Friends, this was held between the Portuguese versus combined forces of the Zamarin of Calicut, then Sultans of Gujarat and others. And here the Portuguese, they were victorious, so that fact we will remember. And this took place in the year 1509. Then the first Battle of Panipat, that is the famous battle between Babar and Ibrahim Lodi, is worth remembering, and that took place in 1526. This famous year is also worth remembering because of the onset of Mughals in India. Then Battle of Kanna, that is between Babar and Rana Sanga. So friends, once again, this is also being depicted as Hindu versus Muslim, but however only the rulers were Hindus and Muslims, but all the soldiers, they were of different religions. So that maturity to understand a concept in an objective way we should cultivate. Then this took place in the very next year of first Battle of Panipat, that is in 1527. Then come to more battles, that is the Battle of Gagra. Friends, once again between Babur and Mahmud Lodi and Nusrat Shah. So this was a battle between Babur, then Delhi Sultanate and Bengal Sultanate. So this is a tri-series, and this took place in the year 1529. Then the Battle of Chausa, that is Sher Shah and Humayun. So the famous battle where Humayun lost his kingdom, that is the Chausa battle, is worth remembering, and that took place in 1539. Then the second Battle of Panipat, that is Akbar and Hemchandra Vikramaditya. So this is also worth remembering, and this happened in 1556. So friends, this is once again a famous battle. If Akbar has lost this battle, then he would not have ruled India for so many years. Then Battle of Talikota, that is Vijayanagara Empire and the confluence of Deccan Sultanate, is worth remembering. So in this battle, the Vijayanagara king Aliya Ramaraya, he was brought down by the combined forces of Ahmadnagar, Bijapur, Bidar and Golconda rulers. So this is worth remembering, and that took place in 1565. So this 565, if you remember, you can remember this battle. Then the battle of Haldigathi we spoke just now, that is between Maharana Pratap and Akbar's forces led by Man Singh. So this took place in the year 1576. Then the battle of Samugarh we discussed, it was between Dara Shikoh and Aurangzeb for the Mughal throne. Then battle of Karnal, that is Nadir Shah against Muhammad Shah. So here the takeaway of Peacock throne is also worth remembering, and this took place in 1739. So these are some of the battles. Friends, when asked in chronological order, you should be able to write them. So remember them carefully. Then come to next, Baba Bandha Badur Singh. Friends, why was he in news? Because the 350th birth anniversary of Baba Bandha Badur Singh is going to be established. Now the history of Bandha Singh Bahadur. Friends, Bandha Singh Bahadur, also called as Lachmana Das or the Lakshmana Dev or the Madhav Das, he was born in 1670 in Rajouri and he died in 1716 in New Delhi. Friends, actually he was tortured to death, so that was a tragedy. Then he was the first Sikh military leader to wage an offensive war against the Mughals. Friends, he was a prominent Khalsa warrior. Then he was the founder of the first Sikh Raj who abolished zamindari system in Punjab. So this abolition of zamindari system and giving the land to the tillers was a famous event in the life of Bandha Singh Bahadur. Then famous for the sack of Mughal provincial capital Sirhind. So he sacked the Mughal capital Sirhind, so that is also worth remembering. Then as a youth he decided to be a samana or an ascetic. Then in 1708 he became a disciple of Guru Gobind Singh and he was known as Madhav Das. So after becoming the disciple of Guru Gobind Singh, he was renamed as Madhav Das. Then after his initiation into Sikh brotherhood, he took the name Bandha Singh Bahadur and became respected. So he has several names as we have discussed earlier. Then Bandha Singh set out in 1709 to attack the Mughals, conquering the large tracts of territory. So he was an expansionist. So as a punishment for his expansionism, he was tortured to death with the red hot irons. So friends, Guru Tegh Bahadur, Guru Bandha Singh Bahadur, these are the gurus who have suffered in the hands of Mughals. But however, this is not a Sikh versus Muslim event. It was only an expansionism and counter-expansionism event of two rulers. So with that perspective, we have to see them, not with respect to any secularistic or religioustic angles. So these are some of the facts for today. Now coming to the last part. Friends, just now we spoke of several rulers, and those rulers who have not only been revered and respected by Indians but also from the foreigners. Friends, forget about foreigners, even the enemies, they respected those rulers. Friends, when Tipu Sultan died at the entrance of his kingdom, the officer who took him down, he famously said that the great tiger of Mysore rests here. And even today, friends, the Samadhi or the crematorium of Tipu Sultan is in the very entrance of Mysuru, that is in the Srirangapatnam. And every vehicle that enters into the Mysore, it pays its obeisance to Tipu Sultan and then enters. So this is the aura he had created, and this is the respect he gains even today. So if at all you live a life, live such a courageous life, live such a life wherein even your enemies, they love to keep your name for their children. So do it. All the very best. Good luck, friends.